Welcome to the Leadership Boost. Leadership Boost. Boosting your leadership into high performance with your host, Shaun Smit. Updating you with the points and principles to sharpen your skill so you can make a difference and have an impact in whatever leadership role you find yourself in right now. Forget the fluff and get the stuff with Shaun.
Honestly, I don't take one episode for granted. Honestly, I don't take any listener for granted. Honestly, I don't take you for granted. I honestly appreciate you hopping on and listening to every episode that you do. And maybe you're here for the first time. Maybe you are listening to this today when I broadcast this episode. Maybe it's tomorrow. Maybe it's next month. Maybe it's next year. Maybe it's in 10 years' time. Maybe it's when I'm gone and not on this earth anymore. And you still have the opportunity to listen to my voice and listen to the message that has moved me and inspired me and that I am bringing to you right now. Honestly, I don't take that for granted. I don't take the time you take to listen to this. There's so many voices, so much information being put out there right now. I mean, there are millions of blogs, billions of YouTube uploads every day. There's radio stations, TV stations. There's so much going on. And here you take time, 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, or a week, whatever you're doing, to listen to my story, to listen to my message, to listen to what impacted me, what inspires me to be inspired. I value that highly. Thank you. I really do. You know, a year ago, just over a year ago actually, it was around about May, I decided, I think May or June, I found this platform to actually begin to bring my message. And, you know, I just decided, well, wait a minute, you know, whether it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes a day, just something that I can give a leader, whether you're in the ministry or whether you are, you know, whether you're a pastor kind of leader, whether you are an elder in a church, whether you are a entrepreneur, whether you are in an organization, you're a manager. And a lot of times as managers, I just really have a heart for those managers that are running departments, having to build teams, do things, accomplish with little input onto how to be effective. I think of some of the entrepreneurs out there. I think of the people that don't actually even think they will ever or can ever be a leader. What I discovered was, just out of my own journey, I discovered that everybody's born with a capacity to lead. Everybody. It's just some people never discover it. Some people never take action on it. Some people never do anything with developing who they are. They're prepared to stay stuck all their life. And I understand. We all reach places of plateau. We all get to places of being stuck. We all are at times in places where nothing seems to be moving forward. Honestly, I've been there. At times when I'm going to jump on these episodes, I think like that as well. And I think, but I'm a leader. And I've decided my mission is to inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, be more, become more. That's what I decided. I'm going to inspire leaders. There's a quote like that, but I've adopted that quote as, that's me. I want to inspire. I'm not going to try and tell you your job. I'm not going to try and tell you the science of the great academic leadership acumens of the world, but to inspire you to lead, to dream, to learn and develop, to do more, be more, become more. Because of your leadership, because you are listening today, regardless of what your position is and your role is, because you are looking to be inspired to take action. And that's really what it is just those little adaptations every day. We think that leadership is like attending this conference or getting this position or some great title or some huge responsibility. The responsibility is that you awaken to who you are, and you're prepared to develop those little things every day. Do that little bit that somebody else is not prepared to do. And that was my whole motivation with this podcast, is to just say, just do a little bit, learn something, adjust something, just make a positive impact by influencing somebody differently today. It could be your child, it could be your spouse, it could be your neighbor, it could be somebody at work, it could be the person that sits next to you in the call center, it could be your team, it could be your organization, it could be on a global scale. We all, we tend to feel overwhelmed, and that, honestly, that's what I feel sometimes is like you get thrown. And when I was leading the church back in South Africa, I oftentimes felt so overwhelmed because I would go to a meeting and it was like this huge thing that was thrown in my lap. You've got to be like this, and I'm going, or you've got to accomplish this. This is the results. This is what's going to be an outcome. And I'm going, I'm nowhere near there. And I don't think 90% of the room was in that meeting. And yet, everybody jumps up and down and says, yes. And I'm going, no, I'm not there. That's not me. That's not my capacity. That's not my ability. But I didn't know what to do with it. And I would leave more depressed, more morose, more feeling overwhelmed, pushing more and burning out more, basically, just to try and keep up with everything. But then I discovered me, and I discovered, wait a minute, this is what I've got to do. And if I make small adjustments every day, I'm moving in the right direction. I'm moving in the right direction. A Chinese proverb says, if you plan for a year, plant rice. If you plan for a decade, plant a tree. But if you plan for a lifetime, then educate people. I'd like to say is equip people. Equip people with the things that they can work with, that they can adjust to, that they can move with, that they can grow with. Inspire people. Inspire them to be more by being an influence. And I thought the greatest opportunity I had was to jump on this podcast and begin to just share my message, share my experience. I've got 3 sons. Michelle and I have got 3 sons. We've got 3 sons, I should say. And I didn't have a lot to give them. I didn't have the opportunity to educate themselves and all the rest of it. But what I could do was educate them with values, educate them and inspire them to dream more, learn more, do more, be more, become more as a leader. To be a leader regardless of whether they get the title or position. And proudly, I have to say, all 3 of them have done that. They have applied themselves at a level that I probably never could have at their age, and accomplished more, and I think they will accomplish a lot more in their life because the investment I put in them, and always encouraging them, always inspiring them to make the small adjustments, to make the right decisions at the right time. And that's what I believe you're here for. Honestly, I believe you're here to be inspired and And hopefully that's what I'm doing. I work hard at inspiring you. I make sure I don't jump on to come in and share with you when I'm frustrated and irritated, because that's when I'm going to, leave across the airwaves, across the audio, what you're listening to. I'm going to be leaving you with a situation of not feeling respected, not experiencing inward security, not feeling, that there's love coming across this episode, that I'm not here to inspire you, but I'm frustrated, so I'm trying to just do something for doing sake. And I that's never what I want to do. As a leader, I want to recognize when is the right time to teach and when is the right time not to teach. Because I realize you listening today, you're the leader of tomorrow. You being inspired today, you're the leader of tomorrow. That's honestly what I believe. I honestly believe that whatever your role is and whatever your place is right now, is that if I can inspire you to dream more, learn more, do more, be more, and become more, then, and make the small character adjustments, the small adjustments every day to think about something that that you and I can do better, do more, apply in our relationships, in our influence relationships, in our world of responsibility and functionality, something begins to happen and you grow into being the leader of tomorrow. But not just you, the next generation. We have such a short-term thinking, we have such a short-term mentality of what do I get finishing my career, me getting retiring, and what do I get out of life? But what about our grandchildren? We should ask the politicians, forget your next election. Forget what your big deal is right now. Is like, what is your mission? What is your passion for the next generation? For my grandchildren, for my children and grandchildren, what is your plan? What are you working towards for that? What are you working towards that's bigger than you? That's the questions that we need to ask. I want you to be inspired to constantly radiate who you are and what you are. That's your communication. It's not just in what you say, it's in how you are, how you leave people feeling when they've been with you. And that's honestly that in 30, 40, 50 years time, that's the amazing thing about the podcasts, is they're going to be around unless Anchor.fm crashes and Spotify disappears off the world and all my recordings disappear. But they're on Apple, so hopefully they will stay there, and a number of other platforms. But unless all of it disappears, in 30, 40 years, 50 years time, somebody will come back and hear Shaun speaking on this episode. To you, I want to say, whether it's 50 years from now, 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, 10 years from now, 5 years, a year's time, I pray that you would be inspired to begin to make the changes in your life so that you radiate and that you teach and communicate who you are and what you are at a new level, because you have dreamed more, learned more, done more, because you've become more every day because of this podcast. Just a little bit more every day. Not just in getting results, but influencing and impacting and inspiring people around you. You can do this. You have the capacity for this. You were created with the capacity to do this. You are far more than you ever imagined. Whether you're young or whether you're old. Hey, on Saturday I'm turning 59. And I feel like I'm repurposing my life. I'm looking to do more and accomplish more in the next 20 years of my life than I did in the past 60. Still got a third of my life left. But what about you? Are you going to make the small changes that affect people's lives in a real way, that touches, inspires, influences, and impacts and brings transformation so that we see a whole new generation? Because it's like one thing on top of the other. I gave what I could into my children. They doing that plus more of what they're learning into their children. And it's that generational thing. We embed more and more development, more and more focus, more and more dreams, more and more ability, capacity. We develop it into the next generation. And it's the same thing for global leadership. It's not just about me. It's not just about you. It's about who we take with us, who we empower on that journey to reach another generation. And that is really what I want to encourage you. My topic today is honestly. Honestly, I'm so grateful that you are listening to this episode with me today. Honestly, I'm grateful for the opportunity to share this message. Never, ever when I was young, ever believed that would be possible. But here I am today doing it. And honestly, I'm trusting that as I do this, that you will be inspired to be who you are, to live who you are, to dream more, do more, be more, develop more, become more. All right. So that's from me. Hey, I just wanted to say I love talking to people. If you're listening, I've got a community of people now, listeners from different places in the world, wherever you are. I'd love to talk to you about leadership, about the development, about your inspiration, about what's touching you on these episodes, what you're learning, what's challenging you. Book appointment with me. Let me jump on a call with you. I'll call you. Let's talk about it. I mean, we don't even have to talk about anything else, just to hear from you. I'd love to hear from you, just what you're experiencing and why the Leadership Boost episodes mean something to you, what you're getting out of it. I'd love to jump on a call. So jump on a call, book appointment with me. The link is in the show notes below, and let's jump on a call. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about where you are, what your challenges are. I'm not that busy right now, so I'd love to jump on a call with you. Please do. I'd love to spend half an hour with you just chatting on a call, and who knows what comes out of that. All right. So from Shaun, this is my message of honesty today. Until next time, I'm saying over and out.